All right. Well, this is Indecisive Cinema episode 55.
55.
That's crazy. Just we've been doing it this long, but happy to be here. We missed last week because I was busy and
Yeah.
exhausted. But so we got a lot to talk about. I have a couple things I wanted to mention. I know we're a movie podcast, but I did finish Love on the Spectrum season. I think it's season three.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I didn't know you watched that.
and
Rhonda watches it.
there's like a documentary as well that I saw. It's from that like Untold series on Netflix. I don't know if it was always on Netflix. There's like
Yeah.
six seasons of that show. It's a horrible documentary, but I want to talk about that. Um, and then we're gonna do. Actually, I also saw Trust Me, the False Prophet, another documentary series. I saw a
Oh,
bunch of
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have
TV.
that in my queue. Yeah.
Okay, I won't spoil anything for any of that stuff, but just worth talking about briefly before we get into the drama is the big thing that we want to talk about today with spoilers.
Yes.
Um, and then we both saw all these, but A History of Violence and Eastern Promises kind of are going to be our bigger discussion for the day. Um, so those will be with spoilers. So the
Yes.
drama, History of Violence, and Eastern Promises. So should be fun. So
Yeah.
glad to be back. How you been?
I've been good. I've been good. Like I said last week, I know you retired, and then Thursday, we ended up not doing it. But I've been, been laying low. I've been fixing up this room here. I mean, I feel bad. It's Emma's bedroom, but I'm turning it into my comic room. So, she understands that she's old enough now. She actually said she was moving to Thailand with her bestie.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, so
Is
that's
that
interesting.
happening?
They're going to save them. Like her friend has a lot of money saved up, but Emma uh, just got enough money to get a car. And I told her, well, why are you going to get a car if you're moving to Thailand? For that, just save up the money to go to
Yeah.
Thailand,
You might as well, if you're gonna get one, buy it there, not
But yeah, I was going to say
you're
it's
gonna have to
cheaper over there
you're gonna
anyway.
have to get it there, which is not cheap.
Yeah, so that's really it. We celebrated her birthday last weekend. We had a good time. Um, saw some movies that night with her. We saw Exit 8 together, and we also saw Undertone, which
Oh,
another
nice.
great movie you recommended. Really
Man,
good.
we got too much to talk about. I'd
I
love to
know,
hear
right?
your thoughts on both of those. I mean, we can do, you know what? Let me just, I mean, you haven't seen Trust Me, the False Prophet
No, no,
or,
I want to. I want to.
so maybe, I mean, these are all just, I mean, Love on the Spectrum's great. You should watch that.
Rhonda watches it, but I don't. I don't.
There's also another Netflix stand-up special that I think is just phenomenal that I just want to recommend. It's
Which one?
Jordan Jensen's "Take Me With You." It's
Mm.
she's really popular right now. I think just at least on the internet. I've seen a lot of her reels and stuff. But this stand-up special on Netflix is like one of the tightest hours of comedy I've seen in a long time. It's like really honest and disgusting, just jokes about being a woman and sex
Yeah,
and
yeah.
mental health and her upbringing. And there's like a running bit about wanting to fuck her dad. It's just really raunchy and dark, but very well written and so damn funny. I mean,
I
it's like,
definitely got to see this now.
I mean, like I feel like every premise has like seven punchlines, and it's just it just feels like I don't know, it just feels like a glimpse inside of this depraved person's brain, and in a wonderful way. So I just like by the end of it, I'm exhausted from laughing so much. It's
Yeah,
really I've
yeah.
seen it three times now. I've shown it to like everyone, and it's just anyway worth recommending.
Jordan
Uh,
Jensen. Gotcha.
I just wanted to blow through these little like just brief thoughts I had
Yeah,
on some
yeah, yeah,
random
yeah. I
TV
enjoy
stuff on
that.
Netflix. But the other one is Untold: The Shooting at Hawthorne Hill. Which like, have you seen this? Have you watched this
It's in
yet?
my queue. No, no, I want to see it.
It's like it's about a horse. I don't even know what they're called. Jockey. I don't know. They race horses. They work with horses. I don't really know, but at a competitive level. I don't know what
Oh,
kind. I think
okay.
they race them. I was kind of barely paying attention to this, but at least that component of it. But it's like did you ever see the Natalia documentary on
Yes,
HBO?
yes, I
It
did.
reminds me of that in the sense that they just let these people talk shit about everyone involved on camera and just unrestricted. Like it borders on irresponsible. Like just what they allow. It's like
Allow,
bordering on
yeah, yeah.
slanderous, just shit talking in a way that's just unbelievable. Anyway, like there's a line at one point where he's like, "They did a mini 9/11 to me," and you're like, "What on earth? What are we doing?" I mean, it's interesting TV, but it's hard to say that it's like
That's
that it should
crazy.
exist. And the way they pit these two people against each other in the documentary, I think, is uh, it's questionable to say the least. But it's also a really bizarre story
Yeah,
about
yeah.
a shooting actually of
Yeah,
all
I put
things.
that in my queue like a week ago, so I definitely want to see it.
It's worth seeing, knowing that it's a piece of trash. I can't recommend it as something that's good, but it
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah. I got you.
interesting.
I got you.
So anyway, that's Untold season 6, the shooting at Hawthorne Hill. Uh, just to blow through these because I mean, I feel I would love to do a whole episode about some of these things, but
We should. I mean, I would love to do it. I love these docs
we
on
are a movie
Netflix.
podcast though. But these
Yeah,
are,
right. I know.
like this next one is also a TV series. It's a documentary series. Trust Me, The False Prophet, which you said
Yeah.
you had not seen,
No,
or
it's in my queue. I want to see it. Me and Rhonda want to see it. Yeah.
it's the follow up, not by the same filmmakers, but it's like directly picking up where the events of, I forget what it's called, but it's about the FLDS community in, I think it's like the border of Nevada and Utah, or I don't know my geography, but it's somewhere in the northwest part of the country, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a small FLDS community that lives there. And it follows these documentary filmmakers got a ton of access to this family of a guy that has like, I think it's like 22 wives, most of which are like under the age of 15.
Yeah.
There's like more than 9 of them that are, 10 years old or
Yeah.
younger, and you're like, oh boy. But this picks up because he kind of came to be after another big figurehead in the community had gone to prison for very similar things. There's another
Interesting.
documentary about that story, which is kind of summarized in this documentary, but really just the amount of access that the filmmakers had to the subject. Because if you
Yeah.
were trying to do this documentary without footage of what's happening in the home, it would just be a really, it'd be an hour long thing that would be really hard to, you just be kind of telling the story from like the news perspective,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
from the inside of the house. Because I guess they befriended this man with the intent of recording him and trying to get these children out of
Yeah.
the house.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and so it's like a piece of investigative
Yeah. Yeah.
journalism.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is like really well done. I think this, like unlike Untold season 6, shooting at Hawthorne, it's like really well executed. And again, the amount of access and there's a big incident that occurs, which I won't spoil, but it was news, and
Yeah.
the footage like of them at the house following that incident is just like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, what other documentary would have that footage. Um, and so there's just a lot of really fascinating stuff explored, and the religious component of it is really interesting as well. But he's just kind
Definitely
of a
this weekend. We'll
monster.
probably check it out. Yeah.
Really, really solid documentary, really well done, and just a fantastic piece of
Yeah.
investigative
Yeah.
journalism. It reminds me of something like The Jinx, where it's just
Like
a,
they caught him out there
yeah,
on camera. Yeah.
and their actions contribute to the events of the narrative, or the
Yeah.
real life
Yeah.
story. So
Interesting. Yeah.
just like the Jinx, not very different scenario, but similar kind
Yeah.
of idea. Anyway, just a fantastic. These are all just like, you should watch these.
No.
Some
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
different
Definitely
reasons than others.
recommendations that I enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, I that one was really interesting. So anyway, I want to hear about uh what is it? Undertone. I'm gonna put these down.
Exit 8,
And
Undertone.
Exit 8. Yeah. So I mean, Undertone. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. I want to hear your thoughts, but maybe let's do it without spoilers. I don't know. What do you think? Should
Okay.
we just
No,
do a
it's
spoiler?
fine. I mean,
There's not really a
so
lot to spoil.
it, I
I don't
think the
know. Should we
girls.
let's just do a spoiler.
Oh yeah,
Let's just
whatever you
spoil
want.
it. That
Yeah.
way we don't accidentally spoil it, because I do want to ask you questions about some of the main things in the film. So, spoiler alert for Undertone, and let's just say Exit 8 as well, just for the
Yeah.
sake
Yeah.
of
So
um
the it's funny because like the girls didn't want to watch Undertone per se, but they wanted to see Exit 8. So I really dug Undertone. I'm also a very auditory person. Like I dig
sure.
sound in horror film
Yeah, me too.
because it builds the tension, like you were saying a couple of weeks back. And another thing I love, the camera angles, like it's not a rule of thirds. it's, or if it is, it's like the subject's over here,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
have this great background of darkness and a
It's
little
called
bit of
negative
light,
space is the
and
term.
it just makes your eye wait to see if
Mhm.
something's going to come and get you.
Yeah, it's really well executed. It's just utilizing negative space as like
Yes,
a way
yes,
to convince you that there's something happening in frame
yes,
when there
exactly.
isn't really ever. It just gives you a sense of. I think in my review of it, I described it like long legs. I read there was
Yes,
a
yes,
review
yeah,
of
yeah,
long
yeah.
legs which said that the tone of that movie feels like somebody that's about to tap you on the shoulder, and I feel
Yes,
like that's this movie
yes.
captures that same tone really well.
Yeah, and
Um,
I kind of dug that, like, especially like, when the bathroom light turns on and when she's with her mother, and then of course the great scene when she's looking in the bathroom light and her mother gets up, or we see this.
yeah,
I mean, it was like it added so much creepiness on top of like it's funny because I thought like the calls were going to be creepy, and they're not. They're just basic clips, and I was kind
sure,
of like, but it's like everything. It's like I thought that was the best twist. Like it's not the clips of the audio that we're going to hear because they're basic. They're not even that creepy or scary.
sure.
It's everything around you
Mhm. Just
that
the oppressive
engulfs
nature
you
of that
into what's going to
environment.
happen now, and I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I dug the ending. I thought it was really creepy, but yeah, I thought it was really good. And in the end, the girls actually ended up digging it as well because they didn't want to see it at first, and that hole where everybody was like, "Holy shit, what's going to happen?" Everybody was like really tensed up. So I thought that was a really good horror experience. I want to say because it's like, but I kind of dug that. But yeah, I mean, I think I haven't seen a good movie like that where you listen more than you're watching.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to hear for other things. But yeah, I thought it was good. Exit 8 was really good too.
Well, real quick before we move on from Undertone, I
Oh
just
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
you
sorry. Go
made a
ahead.
comment that just reminded me of a movie that I love, which is really dumb. But you're like, you know what I really like about this movie is the camera angles. Have you ever seen Alan Partridge? Not the
Oh,
TV series, but
yeah.
the movie version of it, where I forget what the bit is, but somebody's like, he's like trying to have a social conversation with somebody at a party or something, and he's like, you know what I like about that movie? The camera angles.
Camera.
It's so dumb. I love that movie so much. It's like it's such a dumb film. I'm not really like as well versed on the TV series, but I
Yeah.
just like if you haven't seen it's Alan Partridge, but is that the name of the movie? I forget
I
what
think
it.
it's called the Alan Partridge. It is that's part of the title, but I think it's something out of the story or movie, film, something like that. But
Yeah, yeah.
it
It's worth
is
checking out
that's
though. The feature
standalone,
film
outside
version
of the,
of Alan.
besides the show. But yeah,
Yeah,
I,
I
I
haven't
love
actually
him.
really seen the
He's so
show.
funny.
But yeah, anyway, Steve Coogan's great, and I
Yeah.
love the camera angles. Anyway, really dumb tangent based on one line of your review, but yeah, I love.
Sorry, I'm sorry that was
Anytime I can
basic
bring up
there.
Alan Partridge, we got to bring up Alan Partridge because
But everybody knows what I meant. I meant, I love
no no
when
yeah
a
yeah
good horror film plays with the camera where, you think you're seeing something, but it's obviously focusing on something else, but it's
mhm,
making you do that for
sure
jump scares or whatever. And I thought that was really good. So
yeah, it's like really well just executed indie
executed, yeah,
horror.
definitely.
Definitely low budget, all in one location. You've got two actors in the whole movie.
And one of them you don't even see,
Yeah, yeah.
which I
I
thought
guess
was great too.
three if you include the mother.
Oh yeah, 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 that's true.
But yeah, I want to check it out again. I just added it to Plex and
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, we watched it on Plex and Exit 8. We saw on Plex. But I
Plex
did
is
dig
just doing
Exit 8.
work,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
it was more sci-fi than anything else, and I dug the whole loop thing. And
Sure.
like I said, it's like to watch it with other people. It's cool because everyone looking for the context clues. The whole point of this gentleman. I forget. Do you remember his name? I think it's
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It's like the names don't even matter, but it's like he's
The
trying to get to
protagonist.
his girlfriend or why. I mean, I don't know if that's ever established. Who's in the hospital having a decision if she's going to have an abortion or not,
Mm.
and he kind of seems kind of like almost not really caring per se, but feels like he has to care
Paralyzed,
because
I think, is better. Paralyzed by that concept, I think, is more just the fear of becoming a father and I think that's what it is. I don't know. Do
But it
you not
comes
think
from the
that?
whole opening where he witnesses, he's trying to get off the train, and before that happens, he witnesses a young mother and her child, and the child is crying like all babies do, and this asshole is like being so rude to her to tell her to shut the baby up, and
Yeah,
not one person does anything, and he's one of them. And that also comes up later on where he confronts who we think is his wife, but it's the loop or the presence that's bringing him
sure.
through. But and he says, he goes, there was a young mother and I did nothing. No one did anything.
Mhm.
So I think, yeah, he realizes that even in the beginning, before he realizes that, he was kind of like, oh well, I don't know if I can get off of work, and with this giant, humongous decision they both need to make, and he's like, well, I don't think I can get off work. I got off work last time, but
You know what
then
this
yes,
movie really
it
is
ends up
it's Marty
having to be
Supreme, you
a
know,
human
ultimately.
being to get out of this thing, but also to pay attention to the anomalies, which had all of us looking at every billboard, every board in the train station poster, and every door. And it's funny because like I didn't catch one the first time, and then later on, the young boy he comes across, helps him too because I guess sometimes children see things that adults can't in
Mhm.
the aspect of little nuances, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was a nice little film, and then the backstories to one of the anomalies who then we see him how he became the anomaly, and I thought that was kind of cool. How the boy got there, um, how the main character, you know, starts to see the boy as his future son and everything,
Mhm.
and it's like how he evolves, and then the whole twist ending, which I thought was amazing. How he
It's well
after
done.
he ends
Yeah.
up beating this loop, he ends up back to where he started, but it all leads to that one moment that he has to fix or change, and
Responsibility
I thought that was
ultimately,
really cool. I
I
thought that
think.
was very sci-fi more than horror, even though I think there were a lot of creepy moments with the anomalies and things that happened. But
Mhm.
I really dug it. I liked it a lot.
Nice. Yeah, and 90 minutes too, you know. Love a
Yeah, like I
90
know you
minute.
dig that, like Undertone too. Like,
Yeah.
like real quick. We
Give me
saw
more
two
90
movies
minute
in one
films.
night. And we started around 9 o'clock. We were done by midnight, so I thought that was cool.
I think it's kind of a crowd pleaser too. I think it's just an easy. I mean, I don't know if it'll work for everyone,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, but I do think it's also well executed, and I like the idea of it forcing you to kind of pay attention to every
yes,
detail. And I think
yes,
you feel like you're a part of the film in a way.
yeah, yeah.
I know it's based on a video game, and I'm sure
Yeah,
that's
a first person, like it opens just like that, with the first
yeah.
person aspect until it cuts into the whole mystery of the loop. But yeah, and I agree with you. It's like it just, I don't know if you said that the first time, but it's like almost like a choose your own adventure. Like you become part of
Hmm.
it, and
Sure.
I kind of dug that. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's really solid, and I think it got a bigger release. It's still in theaters, or at
yeah,
least it
yeah. It's
was
still in the
yesterday or
Cinemark
something.
too. Yeah,
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 yeah. So good for the movie, for
yeah,
sure. Love to see more from these filmmakers.
yeah.
I don't know the name off the top of my head. I think I had it written
You-
down when I reviewed it,
Me
but
either, and I can't use my phone. But
yeah,
yeah,
no, sorry about that. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure I can look it
Have to
up.
look
But
it up.
anyway, yeah, I'm glad you liked it though.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I
some
dug them
good,
both. I really did. Yeah,
not like a ton of great stuff this year, but some good like smaller stuff
yeah.
like
Smaller
this, I
independent
think.
films. Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Including the drama, which I think
Segue.
is one of my favorites of the year so far.
Right. That's what
This
I
thing
see.
is really fun. I've seen it twice now. Actually, I took Marissa
Oh,
to see
good.
it.
Did you take Marissa?
Yeah, on
Yeah.
Sunday,
Did she dig it?
and yeah, I think she liked it a
Yes.
lot.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Rondo.
she. It's so up my alley humor wise. I don't know if it
Yes.
will. I mean, I don't know if that's going to work for everyone, but I do think the responses from the people in the theater that I was
Yes.
with in
Yeah.
both screenings, I think and just the general critic and audience response that I've seen online and stuff, I think has been generally more positive than this director's last film. Which I love. It's from the director of Dream Scenario, which
Yeah. Yeah. I love
I
Dream
didn't realize
Scenario
until the
too. I thought
movie
it was really
ended.
good. Yeah.
I saw that it was produced by Ari Aster and Lars
Yes. Yeah.
Knudsen, which they did Dream Scenario as well,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize it was from that director. I hadn't really seen a preview of this. I think I saw a teaser. We talked about this. because I was
Yeah.
like interrupting you the whole time. I was like, no, 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 no. I know it's a spoiler movie. I don't want to know anything about it. And I think the only thing I had seen is the photography scene, which is great.
Yeah.
As a teaser, I think it gives you an interesting tone
Tone of the
of
film.
like
Yeah.
something is
Agreed.
off. But it doesn't really give you the I mean, there's no reason obviously for why that is. And I think the reason in the movie is it's one of the best scenes of the whole film. She's like, I'm gonna shoot your dad, and then I'm gonna shoot your grandparents, and then we're gonna shoot your cousins, and then we'll shoot you, and then we'll shoot it's just that whole scene
And
is
he's like,
so
every
it's
time she
so damn
says that, he
funny.
gets more uncomfortable.
Oh man, and just she's like,
So,
"All right, now smile. Now smile like you love each other.
like
Smile
you
like
love each
you
other.
like." And he just gets like slowly. I mean, that scene is just it's gold, man. It's so good. Anyway, we go back to the beginning of this. That we kind of just dove into a random
Yeah,
scene,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that was all I had seen, and I've heard of like my brother hasn't seen the film yet. Still, I think he'd really like it, but he
Oh
was
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about how he had seen he saw like a TMZ article saying that I mean that's not funny, but Sandy Hook some of the Sandy Hook victims are upset about the film, which is
Interesting.
fair and an
Yeah,
interesting point of
yeah.
discussion. I'm not gonna. I mean, that's a tragedy. Obviously,
Of course, of
this
course.
is a. I think this is a piece of satire about
Yes,
that kind
yes,
of tragedy, which is an interesting, launch point for discussion. But I'm not, by no means anything we say here are we diminishing the fact that that's a horrible
yes.
tragedy. Just to be clear.
Correct, correct. Yes.
Um, I think, but anyway, the point is he saw that and he had seen the preview where it says like, what is her secret or something. And so he pieced just with those two pieces of information, he's able to piece together kind of the general
Yeah, he
gist of the
got it.
film.
Yeah.
It is basically the inciting incident of the film. So if like, I think you could still watch the movie. Like I had such a fun experience because I had no idea what it was about. And then
Yeah.
that inciting incident happens and then the photo scene happens and I was like, "Oh, I see what this is." In knowing it's directed by Ari Aster too, I guess I had that piece of information because of the credits at the beginning. I didn't
Yeah.
recognize the director's name because he's got it's like what Borg or something. It's like
It's a weird name. Yeah.
Christoph Borg, I think. I,
Yes. Christoph Borgman
I'm
or
sure I'm butchering the pronunciation of that thing,
yeah,
but I
probably, but
really like Dream Scenario though, and I just think this is a really bold follow up. I think from the get go, there's clearly it's setting up that there's something off. I don't, I mean, once we get to the end of the film, we realize that these are flawed characters for sure, but they're
yeah.
normal people. There's not like a murderer amongst them or anything. But I do think it gives you that vibe from the get go that maybe there's
Yeah,
something
yeah, it
creepy
does.
about him
Yeah.
based on the way he like comes up to her and stuff and the way it presents all of those ideas. I like the way it edits all of that together. I like just the editing in general in the film, but I like the idea of, we're going into a wedding, so how do you present their relationship like in a montage or like
Yeah.
you gotta catch us up, and I think it does a really interesting job of doing that. Like with the vows because they're preparing for the vows and he's like
Yeah.
walking
Yes,
through their
right.
first date and then she's walking through the first kiss and like you get these like pieces of their life that kind of add up to something and give us just kind of a refresher on where they're at.
Yeah.
um and then the scene at the diner happens. You said you and Rhonda saw this, right? And did you
Yes.
both like it?
And well, if you have any questions, I'm hoping you asked the question, but yeah, go on. Yeah, we watched it. And once we heard what the secret was, I was kind of like, I was like, but hearing everyone else's secret, I felt like her secret wasn't even that friggin' bad compared to the bride, what you call it, the maid of
which is
honor,
which is
which I thought was the
totally
worst
the
thing out of all
point.
of them.
I mean, there's that great scene later in the movie, which I love, where he confronts them at the office. Sort of. He's like trying to, because she says that she's going to leave. She's not going to attend the wedding, and he's like, but she didn't even do anything.
It
You
was
actually did something, and she's like, what do you mean? He's like, you locked a mentally challenged person in the
exactly,
closet. She's like, I didn't say he was mentally challenged. You said he was slow. Oh God, that scene's so funny, man. I just the script it's
and then
so
I like that
good.
her husband is like, kind of like, yeah, well, you did.
Well, and then she's like, he grew up around guns and he's terrified of them. I'm just like, what do you mean I grew up around guns? You said that you had like a cousin or something that had a lot of guns. He's like, that's because he was a police officer.
Police
Like,
office.
that doesn't mean I'm uncomfortable around guns. She's like, oh, now you love guns? Like, Just like
Such a
it's
great
just
scene.
gold. It's so
But
good,
she's
man.
such a cunt. I'm sorry if I said a bad word. Sorry, but
I love
I hate
Alana
her
Haim
so
is
much in this
so
movie,
good.
man. You don't know,
She's
man.
oh man, but yeah, she's a toxic piece of
Yes,
garbage.
very toxic. I felt
But
she
an
was the
interesting.
catalyst of everything.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's not true. I think so. You've seen Dream Scenario?
Yes, yes, I have.
Okay, I do want to do a discussion about that, and that might be a next week's film because
Okay.
I just love Dream Scenario, and I think one thing I really love about that film, which is something that like you see with the Good Time director, the Marty Spreen, the
Safdies.
Safdie brothers, movies about flawed characters. I think Dream Scenario is a movie that presents itself as a film in which everything bad that happens to the protagonist, he at least deems as the fault of the world or just circumstance, when in reality he's just a selfish kind of just unlikable, nasty guy. And he's not maybe an evil person, but
Yeah,
he's,
yeah,
just a really selfish individual. And all the
yeah,
events of the film happen because of that, not because of what seems like these circumstances, right? And I think this is another example of that in which
yeah.
Robert Pattinson's character is like, if he could just let go of this, there wouldn't be a
Yes,
movie, right? Like it's
exactly
like,
right.
um, and I think the idea to make her secret something that she didn't act on is a
Yeah,
really interesting launch point for a film because I think it's an interesting discussion. It is like
yeah.
morally, obviously, that's a bad thing to want to do, but
Want to
also
do,
the
yeah.
movie explores why somebody could come to that conclusion, and it even explores the idea that maybe there's plenty of other people that have tried that in the
Tried. Yeah,
in the world.
exactly.
There's
I
and
thought
I
that was
love
interesting. Yeah,
and so it's an interest. I think like the drama of the film and what it's discussing is actually captivating and compelling, and just in
exactly.
terms of a discussion point, if nothing else. But then the way that it uses that in an Ari Aster kind of way, and I'm referring mostly to Eddington in particular, but just explore the. It's not even political. It is partially that,
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
there's like it's like throwaway gags like when they're at the wedding and the dad gives the speech and then the DJ who has got to be Ari Aster's cousin or something. He looks just like him. I don't know if
He
that's
does look like him.
but he like fucks up the wires or whatever and it like it like creates a gunshot a sound
Yeah, I
effect
know,
and
right?
disrupts the speech. And like after the dad sits down because he loses his train of thought, Robert Pattinson leans to him and goes, "So you guys kept guns around the house?" Which is just such a funny line, man. Like, because it's like something that somebody would say in the aftermath of a shooting to
I'm shooting,
criticize
right?
how they got, and it's just like it's one line of dialogue that just is. It's also completely inappropriate in the moment to ask
Yes.
that question. It's just. I mean, it's such a brilliant piece of satire in that way, in just really subtle, dumb ways too. I don't know, man. But anyway, the whole point of like Robert Pattinson being this really flawed character. I mean, like one of my favorite gags in the movie is that they're just awful wedding planners. Like all their
Yeah,
vendors
right.
hate them. like like literally like when they're doing the tasting for the food and he's like, "Can we have another bottle of wine?" And the woman like goes back and I think she says to her is like, "Is this your final decision? Because it has to
Yeah,
be
I know,
final
right?
this time." It's just so funny. As somebody who's worked in the wedding industry for 14 years, like I just the way that all the vendors interact with her in this movie, just them two,
Yeah.
they're clearly all just holding their tongues. But she says like this has to be the final time, and then she goes in the back, and the guy's like, "We're not a bar."
We're not a bar.
It's just it's so good. But then like them judging this DJ for, I mean, if you're doing heroin, that's an
For
interesting
heroin,
concept.
yeah.
But I love the idea that at the end, Robert Pattinson's like, I mean, it was dark. Like we may have not seen her. And you're like, yeah, yeah. That's why you just don't say anything. Like these people are awful, and everyone around them is constantly hinting at the fact that they're awful.
They're all, yeah.
And all of the events of the film are entirely their fault, including, Zendaya, like, revealing that this is something like, you would just that's just it's one thing to reveal to your husband or partner
Yeah,
that
yeah.
information. It's another thing to get drunk and reveal that at a party. It's a little
That part,
crazy, right? It's like everything that happens in this movie is entirely their fault.
their fault, yeah.
Anyway, this was so fun, man. I just had to, like, when I walked out, I was like, I have to talk about it with somebody.
Yeah, that's what
And
I said. Me and Rhonda sat there for like over an hour discussing this movie. It reminded me of the good old days. But I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad she enjoyed it. It's just you got to have, like you said, you got to have that humor, that sense of
sure,
humor, because,
it's like
like you
the
said, not
gallows
everyone's
humor.
gonna think it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think it's so funny that Alana Haim's character is upset because her cousin was injured in a mass shooting, and the first thing that her partner
Right?
says is, "Who?" You know, like it's like she's not close with this person. She's just using
Exactly.
this as a way to make this about her. You know, and I just like to write that. You know, it's like it's one thing to make this movie, it's another thing to make it and then have characters that are super contradictory. It reminds me of something
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
Girls, like Lena Dunham's, work, or just like Search Party is another example of
Yeah.
something that
That's a great
does
one. Yeah.
that type of archetype really well, where these characters are just they're kind of awful people. They're really judgmental of others, and they're. I mean, it's like Arrested Development. I mean, it's like any of these like
I got that. I got that. Yes, I
kind of
feel that.
spoiled, rotten, rich people. Like the apartment they live in, it's like he works at a, it's like this like
He's a museum
billion
curator, I
dollar.
guess.
Yeah,
He
who
brought,
knows? That's an
right?
imaginary
And
job.
what does she do? I mean,
She works for like a marketing
a
firm, is what it kind
marketing
of
thing here.
seems like.
So,
But it
but
just
that's
is
what I
like
was telling
these are
Rhonda. I
movie
was like,
jobs.
you know
It's
how much
like,
that apartment goes for in New York?
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
That's got to be like $3 million. I mean,
right?
like, come
That's what
on.
I was saying. I was like, that's a lot of fucking money to do it.
But I think
But
that positioning these characters in that way though makes you feel a lot less bad for them when things start
exactly,
to unravel.
entitled. Yes, I was like,
Um,
well,
but it also just makes for it gives opportunity for them to be awful and explore interesting, just discussions about this concept. But yeah,
but
I
like
think that
when Robert Pattinson meets up with her cousin, the one who was shot,
yeah,
that was like the weirdest scene. Like he's trying to get her to like make
I
her
think you'd
not.
really like her. You're like,
Yeah.
what is the objective here? But yeah, the one of my I love the visual representation of intrusive thoughts following
Yes.
the revelation where you're like visualizing her imagining a conversation that Robert, because she wakes up and nobody's in the house, and she
Yeah.
imagines that
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson has like left the house and is talking to the best friend. He's like, you better leave the country. You should not go back to the apartment. I mean, I can beat her up if you want. It's just such a funny
Ridiculous.
way to present these ideas. I mean, I love the after the photo scene, the montage of him like holding the younger version of her, and like
Yeah.
while she's got a gun, and then it cuts. I mean, it's just it's so brilliant. I love how the best scene of the whole movie though. The scene that I mean the photo scene is so good. I think it's like right after this, but it's when he asks her, "How close did you get?" And we cut to her recording the manifesto and
Yes.
she
Yeah.
like can't record it because her computer keeps updating. I
Keep.
mean that's just like such a brilliant piece of black comedy. I mean it's the funniest thing I've seen all year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I don't know how you get this movie made. Like only Ari Aster can get this movie made. Like
Agreed. Right. That's what I was
and
saying.
that scene in particular is just like, man, that is really dark. Or like I forget what prompts this, but it's like the line where she's like, "I'm gonna kill you first." Is like it's just the way that they cut to that joke. I don't remember what the setup was for it, but oh man, just her like discussing the technicality of whether or not or like the mall shooting was a mass shooting.
Mass
Like
shooting. Yeah.
it was only three people. It's just what a specific like that's such a specific piece of satire. It's like
It
that's
has to
something
be
that you
what,
would read
4, 5 or more or
online.
something. She was like,
Because that's like something that's the discourse that would occur like in a Reddit comment section where a shooting of two people occurs and people are like diminishing the shooting,
the
the value,
shooting in
the
itself.
impact of
Yeah.
the shooting by classifying the shooting as something that it isn't. It's like it's just such a I don't know, man. Just really, there's just so many things. I had this huge list of things that I just loved when she's in the high school and they're like she's being hugged by her classmate
Beach. Yeah.
because she's crying and the classmate thinks it's because she's sad, but it's because she's just like dealing with what she was about to do.
Yeah.
Um, Oh, the scene where Zendaya or Zendaya. I feel bad because I can never remember. Zendaya.
I say Zendaya because I think that's how you pronounce
I
it, but
think that's
mom
right.
says Zendaya. So
I fuck it up a lot. Sorry about that. But yeah, the face she makes when her boss says she is your friend when she gets when she fires her. She's like,
yeah,
it's so funny, man. Like dude, there's just like 100 jokes in this movie that are the erectile dysfunction scene. What a great way
yeah,
to
right.
explore that idea. You know, let's see. I think it's when when he tries to justify like why she did it by trying to like say, well, she saw her friend die in a car crash, which is not
Yeah, I
something
know,
that
right?
happened. Yeah, I
Which
just
wasn't
love.
true. I mean, well, not that it wasn't true because she said, "Oh, I wasn't there."
And then
He's trying to sell
one of my
it.
favorite shots of the whole movie is when they walk into the wedding and he just like we know later in the film we had I don't know if it had gotten revealed by that point where when he tries to hook up with the coworker
The
with
co-worker, yeah,
Misha,
before that.
which is a funny scene also. He's like,
It
"What's the
is.
worst thing you ever did?" She's like, "What's the worst thing I ever did?" Ah, it's just it's just a good. Anyway, the way he presents, like the what if, I had a friend that,
Yeah, right.
what would you do if your boyfriend planned a mass shooting? It's like, what would I do? It's just such an insane thing to ask a coworker. But they walk into the wedding after that scene we know happens, and they see the DJ, and there's this like wide shot that zooms into a close up of the two of them with the DJ like fucking up trying to put
Okay.
like she's like there's like static and like feedback as she's trying to plug her stuff in and they're just like staring at her from across the room and it's man it's just like I don't know dude it's just so up my alley humor wise
Yeah,
and
definitely. I
it's
knew you would dig
very
it. Yeah.
cynical and very just it's the darkest comedy. Ari Aster's cousin, the DJ. I don't know if that's who it is, but when he comes in, he's like, "Fuck her, man," and they're like, "Who?"
Who?
The other DJ. Like, it's like I've actually worked with one of your servers before. Isn't that crazy? I think that's a really good omen. Like, it's just like what a crazy character. Man. Anyway, I also think, despite all the comedy, I think it handles the quieter moments of the film well.
Yeah.
I like the setup of the needle drop. I forget the
Yes.
song, but I
Mhm.
like the way that song is used, and I like him at the house doing their first dance, like
Yeah.
in the house, because clearly that didn't happen. I'm sure the wedding got, shut down
Shut down. Yeah.
after he got head butted in the face by Misha's boyfriend. She's like, "Use your words." Ugh. God, yeah, I love that they earned that moment though, where he
Yeah.
goes home and he recognizes like that's the song that she would play to annoy him when he's
To annoy
upset,
him. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make him feel better. And there's a scene earlier in the film where the other like kind of running thing that's set up is her saying let's start over, right?
Yeah.
And she tries to do it at one point. It's like let's start over, like
Yeah.
let's just forget about all this and move on. And there's a point in the film where he rejects that idea
Yeah. Yeah.
midway through the second act, and I think that's just like a nice little character setup for the finale of the
For the
film, where
finale. Yeah.
she inevitably walks in and does the same kind of role play thing, and it makes sense. I mean, I think the reality is, despite the fact that these are kind of awful people, I think they do love each other and they do want
Of
to get
course.
past
Yeah.
this. Like, in the end, that is the motivation for all the events of the film is how to accept this and move on with your lives.
Move on. Yeah.
And so, as much as I think a lot of people weren't as big on the ending from what I kind of heard and read, um, but I think it's a nice, quiet ending for a film that gets really big. And I'm glad that there's not a shooting in it. I'm glad that there's not. You have the big moment at the
Imagine. I
wedding,
know, right?
but I don't think you needed to push it further than
Yeah.
that.
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
I think it earns that quiet, kind of just nice final
Yeah.
moment
And
in
I
the
like.
diner.
Yeah, we did. We dug the ending. It was sweet. Yeah.
So anyway, that's a lot on the drama. I had so much fun with it, and I couldn't recommend it more.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Dream Scenario, I think that's my pick of the week. By the way, I'm spoiling that
Dream
now, but
scenario.
and I do think we should do a discussion on it because I love that film. It was on my list, one of the whatever year it came out, and good to see this guy back. I don't know much about him as a person. He also did one other thing that I've seen a lot, like the poster of one other movie. It's got like a woman with a bunch of bandages on her face, and I don't know the title of it. Anyway, that looks interesting just from the poster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how many movies he's made, but these are just, I think Dream Scenario is one a lot of people didn't like. And I think it's like really tight and really solid. It has a lot of really like, fun ideas and it's horrifying at times and
At times, yeah, it gets creepy.
socially awkward. And it has all the same dark humor and cynicism that I love
And you got
about.
a perfect actor, Nicolas Cage, for that, so
Sure, yeah.
yeah.
There's a scene in a gym in that movie that I think is one of the funniest scenes. It's the scene where they try and bring him into a group of kids that
Yeah.
are terrified of him that I think is just it's just so brilliant. And there's another scene in a gym in this movie. I don't know if they hired the same guy to do the like he's like the counselor that comes in to
Yeah,
counsel the
yeah, yeah.
kids after the mall shooting and he's just like so I want you guys to like he's just the character is just so it's so ridiculous. I don't know if it's the same character but it reminds me a lot of that brilliant scene from Dream Scenario. So yeah, if you haven't seen Dream Scenario, go see that too.
See, yes, definitely. I recommend it as well.
But yeah, run to the theater to see the drama. I think it's and take all your friends
Yeah,
that
definitely.
can.
It's a great film. One of my
Uh,
favorites of the year. I agree with you.
I think you could get some walkouts potentially. I think you need to be a little selective with who you bring. Bring some people that like drama. Like don't bring the person that like they want to see it because they think it's a rom-com, you
Rom
know.
com. Oh yeah, no, yeah.
It does sell itself as that,
It
and
does.
that's
It
gonna
does a
upset some
little bit.
people.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, bring your friend that likes really dark humor,
Dark
and
humor.
I think you'll have a great time with this one because it really pushes the boundaries.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Anyway, God, this is gonna be a long episode, but that's what happens when we skip a week. There's just too much to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did this though, History of Violence and Eastern
Yeah.
Promises, because it was such a refreshing thing to go back and watch these again. You've seen both of these though prior
Yes.
to what rewatching them for the episode.
Yeah. History of Violence, I've seen a few times before watching it again for the episode. But Eastern Promises, I saw once
Hmm.
before, and it's like I. It's been so long. I probably saw it the year it came out.
Which is
So
yeah,
a lot of
2007,
things
right? Was that?
I forgot. Some things I maybe imagined. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like both films. I do like History of Violence a little more. But Eastern Promises is a solid film to me. It's interesting because I was saying, I mean, Rhonda doesn't really know Cronenberg's year, but I was like, it's interesting how he got more serious in going away from
The body horror,
the body horror and
there's
then
still
going into
violence,
more
but
of a humanity drama or
mhm.
and I just but they're still good. They still they're still good films, but it's just an interesting turn. It's like someone like Lynch who never changes, or
Sure.
Scorsese never changes, though he gets a little bit deeper or more independent. But I thought that was interesting, with David Cronenberg's turn. And
I haven't. My first note about either both of these films doesn't matter either one of them, but it
yeah,
is the notoriety that he gets as a director of body horror. I watched The Fly recently, and I
yeah,
think he's actually. I don't think he gets enough credit for being a director that gets. He's really good at depicting ordinary, like natural interactions with like
yes,
characters. I just think he's a good human director, despite the fact that his movies end in body horror often.
yeah, yeah,
In a lot of his stuff, we talked about The Dead Zone, I think, last time on the podcast, and
yeah.
yeah, that's another one that's like just set in a small town, and I think it's a Stephen King book. So that's not a lot of these. He doesn't write most of the stuff though. Most of the time, he's
No,
just directing,
they're all
but
mostly adaptations. Yeah, so
he
like
does a
Naked
great job
Buds
of
or
just like
Well, I think Existenz, he might have had a hand in adapting, but I don't think that was original his. But
gotcha. But yeah, he's just a really fine character director, and I think he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
get enough credit for that because his movies are known for being hyper violent. And I think these are in my opinion, probably his two. Like, I think this is in the top three for me. For him, I think both of these films are like some of the best work he's ever done. Honestly,
okay,
as
yeah,
much as I love a lot of us, I love The Brood a lot. I love
yeah. The Brute's
Videodrome.
great.
Naked Lunch is great. I mean, there's a lot of he has so many great films, or at least interesting films.
Dead Ringers is another one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's just a lot of good stuff in his catalog, but I do think these are really well executed. There's a few things. History of Violence, I think, has some script problems that they're a little dated. But I think like again, the performances are all fantastic across the
Yeah.
board.
Oh
It's
yeah.
some of the best work I think he's done just in bringing to life just very ordinary, everyday people.
Yeah.
Um, Even in the mob movie, I think the head of the mob boss, I think he does a really good job of humanizing that character.
Humanizing him. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Um, but yeah, I think with well, specifically talking about History of Violence, I love the opening scene a lot. It's like this
Yeah.
really quiet opening scene with the two. We don't even know. I guess they worked for the mob or some
Yeah.
kind of,
They're gangsters of some
yeah,
sort.
yeah. And when there's one line where they're like, "We need to stay out of all the big towns or something," so
Yeah.
we know that they're on the run of some kind, right off the bat. And then, I mean, they fucking kill a kid.
I
That
know.
kid cannot act though. God, that kid is rough, some rough acting in that scene. She's like, anyway, if you see it, it's pretty spot on.
Yeah, that face.
Yeah, she should be. You should hire a better 3-year-old for that part. But that is a shocking moment, and I think it
Yeah.
establishes a really dangerous tone right off the bat.
Yeah.
Um, then there's the baseball scene, which I think is really dumb. This is my biggest problem with History of Violence, which I still think is not a big enough problem to be like a complete detractor. But the all the stuff with the son and the high school, I think I see
Yeah.
why it's there, and I like what it's trying to achieve in terms of being establishing the family dynamic
Yeah.
and the use of violence in the family, across the board. There's that great conflict that we're setting all these things up to build to, where he smacks. He says, there's the line. He's like, we don't we don't solve our problems with violence in this family, and
Violence.
then by hitting people or something, and then he immediately smacks
Smacks
him.
his kid.
But it's a good scene, I think, and I do
Yeah.
think it. Despite the fact that a lot of the high school stuff is really poorly written and dumb, I do think it builds to something interesting, and I like the scene where where there's a breach of trust once he finds out that he's not. Are you even my dad? I think is a good
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "What am I supposed to call you?" And he says, your dad. Like I'm your dad. This doesn't change that. It's a good. These are great dramatic
Yeah.
moments, in my opinion. But the baseball scene is so fucking dumb. I think it's so funny to me that he would get bullied for just like catching a routine fly
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
It's just such a stupid. It's like somebody. It's like written by somebody. I don't need you to understand baseball by any means. I'm a big baseball fan, but this is just such a stupid scene. And this scene is in a million movies too. It's not like this is
Yeah. Agreed.
you've
Agreed.
seen this kind of scene. He does something and then he gets bullied. Like that scene's in a million high school films, right? But like this is just such a dumb. And then in the locker room, like all the dialogue for that scene is really bad. I just think it's really funny though. He would get bullied
Yeah.
just for like getting an out in a baseball game. It's not even like he hit a home run or something and bragged or like it's like it's not even heroic. He just caught a ball. Um, Anyway, the other thing I really like about the opening of the film, I miss when movies would give us like 15 minutes of time with the characters before the inciting incident. Like, I
Okay.
miss this. It's something that doesn't happen anymore, I feel like, with a lot of like modern films. Like I feel like it's like scene two, the inciting incident happens in the film, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the drama is actually of all things is a one of the few examples where that's not the case.
Yeah. Yeah. It
But
happens
it
almost
gives us
mid
like the
movie. Yeah.
opportunity to establish some kind of baseline of like who these characters are as people before everything starts happening.
Yeah.
Um, I know that's maybe not as exciting, but like in this particular film, I think the sex scene at the beginning, which feels kind of gratuitous, but I think
Yeah.
when you come back to it
The
at the
parallel.
later
Yeah.
part of the film, I think you need that scene to establish the dynamic between them. It could be shorter, and I think it's a little weird that she's like, "I'm going to dress up as a high school
High
girl."
school.
Uh,
That's what Ron said. That would have worked today.
no,
It's
it is
like,
at least her idea, but yeah, it's weird.
yeah. Exactly.
And then they're just fucking 69ing, like Jesus Christ, this is like you wouldn't see this anymore, that's for sure. But I do think it establishes like a tenderness in their relationship, and maybe she's trying to spice it up a little bit. But I do think at
Yeah.
least it's like,
But it also gives a thing that she's a little, well, you said spicy, but a little dark too, because later on when the
mhm.
shit hits the fan, how she defends him.
Hmm.
even though she questions him.
Fucking smacks
And
him in
then
the
obviously
face.
at the end with acceptance,
Hmm.
of this. I think that's why they had that because he seems like a Joe Blow. He's like
Sure.
vanilla, until this happens, and then, you know, he still acts like, oh, like really, but she becomes very aggressive, very
Hmm.
forceful, and I
Which
kind of
is
think that
the
that
arc that
stems
the
from
son
that.
takes too, to some degree. The son takes a similar arc
Yeah,
of
yeah, agreed, yeah,
just standing up for themselves and like
yeah,
becoming, more aggressive and, for better or for worse. I think the brilliant thing about this film is that at the ending scene, which I think is a great ending,
yeah,
that quiet scene at the dinner table, it's like just a I love it's a subtle way to showcase like his acceptance back into the family, but
yes,
inevitably they'll never be the same again. I think that's,
exactly, yeah,
yeah, it's just like regardless of whether or not this resolved itself in a way that the family was safe at least for the
yeah,
most part in the end, it's like it's it'll never be the same, and that's
yes,
kind of tragic in a sense too. And I think all the things you're describing, I think are steps along the way of getting to that point
getting
of
to yeah,
no return. But yeah, I think that like there's the diner scene. Like my brother and I were kind of making fun of the base because I watched it for the podcast. My brother hadn't seen it, and so I showed him it and realized how dumb some of the dialogue was. Like, it's why is it when you go to like show something, it's like when you show somebody a piece of music or something, you're like, hey, check out this song, and then you realize like, oh, this is not accessible. Same, same thing with this movie. I was like, oh man, this opening is rough. But then when the diner scene happens, he was in, and I think for the remainder of the film, other than the scene where the son confronts him and he's like, if I tell her about you, am I gonna get whacked? It's what a
jeez,
dumb
man,
line.
yeah,
What a cheeseball line, man. But outside of that, I think like from the diner scene on, I think this is a knockout. I think it's
yeah, yeah.
really well executed, and um, Maria Bello's great.
Oh yeah, I love
Like
her in
in
this.
every
Yeah,
scene, Ed Harris is just a complete force, and I think the scene in the lawn where he gets
yeah,
shot, fucking killed, is like a shocking moment that of just it's a point of no return.
no
Also in the
return.
film, it's like
Yes,
everything will be different from this because it's a revelation that he is who they think he is,
yes,
could be, and the betrayal of trust that occurs from that, and just a shocking moment of violence. It's a brilliant scene, I think,
yeah.
and really well executed. Let's see here. Um, during the sex scene, I made a note about what the hell is going on with Vigo's ass, dude. Looks like somebody cut off his tail.
You're talking about the first one or the second one on the stairs?
The second one on the stairs, which is like it reminds me of that scene in The Room. It's not as bad as having sex on a spiral staircase like in The Room, but it's also just like a really bad. It's a
Yeah,
really bad location, man. Uh, Not as bad. The Room is so goofy. That scene where you've seen, I mean, you've seen that, right?
of course.
God, it's like the most uncomfortable spot. I do like also that the visual style of the back half of the film, or at least after the yard incident, which takes place in broad daylight. It's like a
Yeah,
really
I know.
unconventional.
I guess, but they're on a farm
Yeah,
type
it
thing, so I
works.
guess it's okay.
But I think from there on though, everything else is just darkness. Like there's like a scene in
Yes.
the hospital and a scene, and then when he leaves, he goes to that like seedy bar, and then he's at
Yeah.
his brother's house. William Hurt also.
William Hurt.
Let's get to that in a second. But yeah, I like the visual style of the film becomes just darker in the back half. Um, but yeah, William Hurt though. Let's talk about like I love the how oddly like physically affectionate he is at the beginning. It's just a
Yeah.
really interesting choice. Everything about this performance and his portrayal of this character is just unconventional. Like every
Agreed. It
it's like
almost, I, like I said, I haven't seen it. I want to say in a good 5, 10 years, but I was just like, what? Why is she like? It's like if I was making fun of like The Godfather, and we start putting on accents.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I felt. Like I said, why is she hamming it up almost like to
Yeah.
a point?
But it's not a problem. It's a
No,
great
no, no, no.
it's
I
like that's
know,
what's
but
weird
it's
about it. It
like
works. Yeah,
you
I completely
you've never
agree.
seen William Hurt before in
Yeah.
this type of role,
Yeah.
and you never see it again until up till he passes away. So it kind of throws me off the way he's like the way he's talking, you know.
You cost me a lot of money, Joey.
But
A
yeah,
lot of
so
money. I do, but I will say, as much as I also love his sideburns. His like fucking beard thing is weird. It's just like goes strange. He kind of reminds me of Bob Odenkirk, like
oh yeah, right.
the physicality of that
Holy cow,
role.
you're right, Bob Odenkirk.
But the
Yeah,
affect is insane. It's like you just have never seen anything like it. And but I do love like I there's a couple really good lines. I love the like when you dream, are you still Joey? Is a
Joey.
really
Yeah,
good line.
yeah.
I love I love what he's like. How do you fuck that up? Uh, he just shoots this fucking guy in the chest. How do you fuck that up? Is so funny, man. He's really great. He reminds me kind of like Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet.
Blue
It's
Velvet.
kind of
Yeah,
like it just feels unpredictable. And he feels approachable and like charismatic, but then, you just know that there's something off. He's just great. And he's not like William Hurt's not exactly like a household name. Maybe back
yeah.
in
I mean, yeah, you
people
know.
know him. I mean, he's been in like a
Yeah, of
million
course.
Marvel
Yeah,
things at
but
this
not
point.
like that. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like Ed Harris is somebody people recognize, I think. I
Yes.
think
Yes.
William Hurt is not that type of actor, which is fine. He doesn't need to be. So when he shows up in this movie, you're like, who's this guy? Which is funny. He also reminds me of Alan Rickman, also kind of like in like Die Hard. Like he has this like charisma, like the cadence is kind of
Interesting.
similar.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got
Um,
you. Yeah.
but
Interesting.
yeah, anyway, just a great performance at the end there, and I think he really makes that like I think if you didn't have that character as weird as it is, I think that back half wouldn't work as well.
Hmm.
Because he's only there for 5 minutes. He
Yeah,
shows up at
like
the
five, 10
house.
minutes. Yeah.
They have like two conversations. There's a couple good lines, and then the shooting happens. And I think if that performance and character wasn't as memorable as it is, I don't think it would land the same way or leave
At
as
the
big of an
end. Yeah.
impression.
Toward the end.
So anyway, I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on History of Violence?
No, like I said, I agree with you with the you know the school situation, but like you said, it kind of leads into who his son becomes. I mean, when he kills Ed Harris's character, it's like a big like, oh shit, who killed him?
Sure.
And
And
it's
that's
it's his son.
earned with all the
So
scenes that they set up. I just think you could just
yeah,
execute those scenes better.
the
Is
better,
really all it.
different. No,
Yeah,
no,
it's like
yeah, I agree
it's
with
really just
that.
the
But
dialogue. I like the idea of him standing up to a bully. That's all fine, and even though it's a
yeah,
little kind of surface level, or at least we've seen it before. It's just there's just all the bully dialogue is just really cringy.
it's cheese. I mean, yeah, you gotta.
But I like where it goes, and I think you could
Yeah,
just
yeah, but
execute those ideas a little better. But
and
my only
and
problem.
what I want to say is like Viggo Mortensen in this compared to Viggo Mortensen in the next film.
Mhm.
I love how he portrays this simple, guy.
Yeah,
But there is a point where when he does become Joey, you see it
mhm.
in his face, and I think Viggo Mortensen was amazing in the movie. I mean, it's just a
Sure.
great scene. But yeah,
He's great in
I
both these
just
films. I think Eastern Promise is actually the better of the two performances, but I like both a lot.
yeah, yeah,
The physicality of the Eastern Promises role, I think, is really brilliant. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
he also plays cool in Eastern Promises in a way that
Oh,
one of my notes that the fucking scene where he's
hold on,
like,
hold on. Over. Sorry. Over.
we got an animal on the loose.
No, no, I'm sorry. The dog was in the room, and now I gotta let him outside because
You're good.
he's going crazy. I'm sorry.
We don't want that.
Go outside. Go outside.
Dead air.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm back.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, no, I agree with that. But
My shout out to on Plex. There you can do user reviews. I don't know why anyone is doing that, but there's user reviews on Plex. And shout out to this guy, fun name. His name is Angus McNuts for his 2024 review of Eastern Promises, which says auto 5 stars for Vigo's cock and balls fight scene. So funny, man. Uh, anyway, like A History of Violence, Eastern Promises kind of just starts with a bang. I love that opening scene where they
yeah,
fucking cut his throat. That's one of the few things I remembered about this film because I haven't seen it since 2000. This was
yeah, like when it came
2007.
out, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen it since around that time. Um, But I do think that establishes a tone really quickly. And I think the opening of the mother walking into the CVS and going, "Can you help me?" and then like dying in childbirth is like a these are big. It's a good setup.
Yeah.
Um, I think when I first saw it, I remember just being bored, which I wasn't this time. Because it is a slow film. It's definitely an
Yeah, it's a slow
understated
burn. I give
drama.
you that. Yeah.
But it's only like nine. It's like an hour 45. It's not really even that long. But
Yeah, it's
I
not.
do think it's very quiet in what it's doing. But that's actually what I think is brilliant about it. In comparison to other mob staples, I think the culture of it is also really interesting. Just the
Yeah.
Russian
Yeah.
component. I love the tattoo concept. I don't know if that's based in a real
It
idea.
is. It is. Yeah.
The idea of like you can tell. I forget the line. Maybe I wrote it down somewhere, but it's like you can tell. You can see a man's life on his body or by his tattoos. There's some line about that which I think is interesting. Um, uh, Anna's the Naomi Watts character. Her drunk uncle was some racist shit. That was unexpected. It's like it's not natural to mix race and race.
Yeah, that was yeah, I know. Rhonda was like, "Oh no."
Well, and then he's like, "That's why your baby died inside of you." Is a
Yeah, that was
crazy
I
line.
know, that's fucked up. It's fucked up.
And then, but anyway, these are just kind of random notes here. I don't have anything like. I mean, I think this movie's great, but I don't really have. I mean, there's not really a lot to talk about. I like a lot about it. I like that it's understated.
Yeah.
Did you appreciate this differently this time around? After what were your
Um,
thoughts initially when it
yeah,
came out?
I agree with what you said about you being bored. Not that I was bored the first time, just that it moved too slow. But
Mhm.
now that I'm older, of course, I
Older
didn't
and wiser.
mind the slow burn. Um, I appreciated what's his name, the son who ends up
Oh, Vincent Cassel's
Vincent
character,
Sal.
Kirill is the name of the character. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
Vincent
at
Cassell's
first
great, man.
I kind of dug him in this. I like seeing him here. Um, what's her name? Oh my God, Naomi Watts was very under. Like I like that she didn't play big
Yeah,
in this. I like that.
and for a movie
Uh,
of this era, I feel like that performance held up better than like Maria Bello also, I think that performance does too. But these are the kinds of roles that you could play bigger and it would be cheesy, like
yeah,
20 years down the road. And I think they're both understated performances. And I think it's a credit to Cronenberg as well, not just
yeah, definitely.
it's Naomi Watts gets the credit for it, but I think he just gets good performances out. And this
Yeah,
is
he
like
does. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, and but yeah, Army Mueller Stahl or Arnie Mueller Stahl, the one who
Simeon is
plays
the character.
the head boss.
He's great. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
really
amazing
good
in
at
it.
this.
Very dark, very menacing, without being that
Hmm.
till the end of the film when he does become that. And it's almost like there's not much difference, which is amazing.
Yeah,
How he, because he's very,
you just flip a switch.
grandfatherly and
Yeah,
but we see it in his eyes. And then later on when he does like say, "Oh, then kill the," but it's just like the same thing. And I was like, "Oh my God, how can he do that?" It's like
mhm.
he switches or gets like brings it up to 100, but really doesn't even change from that role of being the old knight's granddad. Yeah, I love that too. He was really good in that.
And there's
And
a
like I
couple
said, yeah, I felt
moments
like
of that showing that humanity, though. The violin
yes,
scene at the
yeah,
beginning with the granddaughter, and then the birthday party scene is another one that where he like brings out the cake for the family,
for
and
the family, yeah,
just like showcasing these like two sides of him is really interesting. I do love
yeah,
the line from him where he says, "You play with the prince to do business with the king." That's a fucking
King, yeah, I
killer
like
line.
that.
Um,
It's a good one.
but yeah, let's see what else I had here. I love Donald Sumter as the cop. He's in like two scenes, but he's great in so many things. I
Oh
can't
yes, in the
even.
opening, yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, he's only in like two scenes in it, but I like him too. I really like. There's a line from Anna's parents, the drunk uncle of all people. Well, his wife. I forget her name.
yeah, yeah,
Is arguing with him about whether or not they should get involved, and she says, Step on. This isn't our world. We are ordinary people." And he says, "She was an ordinary person," which is like just a great piece of
yeah.
dramatic dialogue. I think that's a really great line. Um, I love, yeah, I think the shot of him sitting in the booth getting tattooed is one of the best shots of like the past 10 years,
Yeah,
past
right.
decade. It's like it'd probably make my list of like that shot is so fucking cool. and what it represents to the story, I think, is brilliant. It's just such a great. He's like sitting in like a restaurant booth,
Yeah,
like
with his
tattooed
towel
without his
around
shirt
him
on, and
drinking.
it's not only badass, but it's like stunning. It's like just it's a brilliant shot. I just think that's like just a great moment. I also think Vigo is just fucking cool in this
Yeah,
movie. I
he
think,
looked right with his slick back and everything. He
man,
does look rocking.
the physicality too, like I love that scene where he like puts out that cigarette on his tongue and then he flips
Yeah,
the tie over his shoulder and starts like cutting the dude's toes off. Like this guy's cool.
yeah,
Um, he's just fucking badass. Like it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
such a slick role. But then probably not also random detail. Probably not the best idea to go to a wet sauna after getting a tattoo, but it does make for a great set piece. One
Yes,
of
I
the
think
best.
that.
It is. This is the other thing I remembered about this movie is this sauna scene is just. It's spectacular. It's such a. It's unlike anything you've seen before.
That's what I told Ron. I said, "Listen, just stay for that scene. If you don't like it, it's
This
just
is definitely
amazing."
like a boy mob movie kind of movie. This is like something my dad would go, "Oh yeah, I really like that Eastern Promises movie. It's got a lot of I like that gangster stuff, you know." But yeah, it's like it's definitely like this is not a Marissa movie, I don't think. But that sauna scene is fucking great. Like I
Yeah,
love the visual of it, the cock and balls.
the cock. Oh,
Love that. I didn't, of all things, I didn't remember that the reveal that he's a Russian spy. I don't
a
remember
spy. Yeah, he's
the ending of the film. I
working against them. Yeah,
I
and in the
completely
end,
forgot
like
about
you
that.
said, he got the son to be the boss of all bosses, and they're like this. And it was smart. It was like a great move in the end. I thought that was really cool.
Shout out, oh well, not shout out. Vincent Cassel. Have you seen anything else like other than like I know he's in Black Swan. He's great in
Black
that.
Swan,
Have you seen
Irreversible.
Mayreen? Oh, I didn't know that was him.
That
I
was him,
haven't
and
seen
it's
that in a
such a
long time.
fucking amazing film. It's a fucked up movie,
Um,
but
I need to
you know,
revisit that one soon. That's Gaspar
yeah, man.
Noé,
But
right?
he's so good in that movie too. Yeah, it's like that's like I didn't know he was in that either. That's a movie that's been on my list for like almost 15 years, and I finally saw it last summer, and I was like, holy shit. But he's
He's
good. His acting,
amazing.
everything's like
Yeah.
really, he's amazing.
Like an underrated non-household name. He's a guy that you
Yes,
might
yeah,
recognize,
agreed,
but I
agreed.
just think he's if you've there's a movie that I was going to recommend, Mayreen. It's French.
Which one?
Mayreen. It looks like Mezreen if you're reading it, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
pronounced Mayreen. I don't know how to speak French. It's probably the worst butchering of that. It's based on a real person. It's like Jacques Mayreen from the 70s. He was like one of the most notorious I think he like robbed banks. I don't remember all the like the details of the film, but I know he like escaped from prison 6 times or some shit.
Yeah.
But they released a two-part film series with Vincent Cassel as Jock Mayreen, and he's brilliant in it.
Yeah,
It's
I
worth
got
checking
I
out.
got to put that on my queue. Yeah.
But he's just like an underrated. I think he's really great in everything. It's good. It's always good to see. I think he's in. Isn't he in The Shrouds or whatever the more recent Cronenberg? I thought I saw him. Isn't he like the lead in
Yes,
that?
yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's in it.
I still haven't
Yes.
seen that. It's on my Plex, but I heard
Okay,
there's
then I'll
mixed
watch it
things.
on Plex. Yeah, because I remember it came and went, and I was like, "Where did the movie
Yeah,
go?"
his last few have. Yeah, I do like Maps of the Stars though. That's one in particular that I
Yeah,
think is a standout, but it's also
Robert
kind of a
Pattinson.
mess. But yeah, I do like that one. Yeah, he's been a little hot and cold lately. But I think
Oh,
these
he was in
two.
Ready or Not too. He plays the head of the family. But
Oh, does he? Vincent Cassel does? Or no,
no, I'm
Cronenberg
sorry.
does.
I'm in
That's right.
Cronenberg.
I saw that in the cast list for.
Yeah,
I don't know why I was looking at that, but yeah. Yeah, that's it's always cool to see him as an actor. He does a
yeah.
lot of acting. He's got a ton of credits as an actor too.
Have you seen Nightbreed?
Yeah.
He's amazing in
Yeah.
Nightbreed as the main villain. He's
Hmm.
amazing in that. Yeah,
Yeah, usually he's only like in one scene in something that he's in, but yeah, he's got a lot of stuff, a lot in that movie. But
yeah,
yeah. No, it's this is I think these are his like magnum opuses, for
yeah,
lack of a
yeah,
better. I mean, I think The Fly is definitely in the mix. For me, that's probably number one. But these are really great. This is a fun double feature too. I think these are just
yeah.
like
No, I enjoyed them back to back. I thought that was a good idea.
But anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch 3 hours worth of movies in a week.
Of course.
Well, you
If
did
you're good, I'm
forget
gonna watch it.
technically.
You know
Technically, you
that.
forgot last week. That's I think why we postponed to Thursday.
Yeah,
You're
that's
like, I
right.
forgot to watch the movies.
Because of my daughter's birthday weekend, I was like, holy shit, I forgot to watch these movies.
It is 3 hours worth of movie watching. Better than 5 hours when we did
I know, right?
Silence and the Ruling Class.
Yeah, the ruling
Um,
class, and that's
but sometimes you got to do the homework, and it's not
yeah,
always what
yeah.
you want to do.
Amen.
Sometimes you don't want to watch movies,
I
but it's
told no,
always worth it.
I told my boss because she asked me all the time about the show, and I said, yeah, I said I'm going to change. I'm going to work overtime Tuesday and Thursday. I didn't do the homework, and she goes, "What's your homework?" And then when I was telling her, she goes, "Oh my god, you're such a nerd." But yeah, but she
Did you
always
do,
asks. She always
did you
asks
do a
about what
pick of
we're
the
doing.
week, by the way, before I forget?
Um,
Did you do a pick of the week?
oh yes, yes.
What was
And
your pick of the week?
it might go inside with this, but I picked cruising
Okay, interesting. That's an interesting pick.
because you have the undercover cop,
Yeah.
playing the in Hunt for. So I thought about it because when we were watching Eastern Promises, I thought that was a really good reveal at the end. Unfortunately, this is not a big reveal, but I just thought that it had moments like that where naked people doing stuff.
Yeah,
Not, I mean, not in that ad, but I mean,
sure.
the scene where he's being interrogated by the other cops who don't know he's an undercover cop. I thought that was amazing, but with the big black
Mm.
cop coming in naked with just the hat on, that's a great scene.
That's a crazy
But
movie.
yeah, I chose Cruising. I think everyone should watch Cruising at least
Nice.
once.
Good pick. Mine was Dream Scenario, which I talked about
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah, and I love that
Um,
movie. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I think Dream Scenario would be. We've kind of already talked a lot about it because I was just I want to figure out what we're gonna do on the show next week, like while we're on the show, so we don't forget. Because I feel like often I like forget to text you to figure out what movie we should watch. Um, we could do Dream Scenario. I don't know if that would make for like a. I think it's gonna be kind of similar to the drama where we would just
The drama, yeah,
quote
yeah.
all the funny lines. I don't know.
So I
I'm
think
trying
what's
to think.
coming up? Oh
Like
no,
in theaters.
no. I meant like
Oh, like week
because like you
wise.
wanted to do
Well,
420, and I was like, oh yeah, we could do a 420,
yeah, and then
but
I like looked
and
up.
then
I
we
was
saw
like,
all the
what?
stoner films. So
I was like, the only one I could think of was like Big Lebowski, and it's like that's
I
boring.
love it. Yeah, I
No
love
one.
that.
I love that movie, but no one wants to hear us talk about Big Lebowski for the millionth time. Um, and next week I actually might. Oh no, wait. What week is it? Next week's the 5th.
Oh, the Tuesday. Yeah, next week Tuesday is the 5th. Yeah.
Yeah, I might actually. I have a shoot that day, but I might be back by then. But yeah, I mean, let me. I'll think on it. I'll
Yeah,
text
yeah,
you.
and then
I'll
text
look
me,
at
and
it
then we'll go
now.
from there.
I was so set on Dream Scenario, but I don't think it would. The ending is an interesting thing to discuss.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Dream Scenario ending to me is not as great as the ending to the drama
The
because I
drama's
think the
tighter.
drama was kind of complete. But
I like Dream Scenario's
not that I
ending.
don't love Dream Scenario. I just think that the ending was a little bit not as satisfying as I wanted it to be. Not that it's not good, but
Well, I don't think it's satisfying for the character. Yes, I think it is.
yes,
I think it
exactly.
is a
Yeah, yeah.
downer
So
ending. I do love the Talking Heads
yeah.
suit, though. That's a great moment. But yeah, but what's actually happening, I think, is sad. But yeah. Anyway, Dream Scenario. That's my pick of the week. But I don't know if we could do a discussion on that. Let me think on it. We'll figure it out.
All right, yeah. Let me
Anyway.
know.
We can get this. We can wrap this shit up. We've been talking for who knows how long. What time is it? 7:30. Okay, not. It's not. We're under an hour and a half. I think at least.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Could be worse. We've done worse in
yeah,
years.
yeah. Definitely under an hour and a half. Yeah, so.
Well, anyway, that's it for
That's episode
Indecisive Cinema.
55. I'm Carlos Hernandez. We didn't do that again.
Yeah, it's true. I'm Jeremy Knight.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. You guys take care. Bye.